That excessive masturbation can slowly rewire your brain, wreck your testosterone, weaken your erections, and even dull your desire for your partner. And yes, over time, it can make you feel old before your time. That constant fatigue, that emptiness, that low motivation, many men think it's just aging. But for countless patients I've seen, it started with this one habit. Here's what's worse. Most men never connect the dots. They feel weaker, more anxious, more tired, and they blame work, stress, or their wife. Meanwhile, their own body chemistry is being hijacked by a cycle of pleasure and depletion. And today, we're breaking that cycle. Because in this episode, I'm not giving you vague advice. I'm giving you facts, science, and a roadmap, a way to restore your natural drive, your energy, and your confidence. No pills. No shady supplements. Just habits that reset your body and rebuild what overuse has taken away. And here's my promise to you. By the end of this video, you'll understand why self-control, not abstinence, not guilt, is the key to becoming stronger, sharper, and more masculine than you've felt in years. So stay till the end. Because the real secret, the one thing most doctors never tell men about their sexual energy, is waiting there. Let's start by separating truth from myth. Let's clear the air first. Because when it comes to masturbation, the internet is filled with extremes. One side says, it's totally healthy. Do it as much as you want. The other side screams, it's evil. It will destroy your body. Neither one is completely right. So let's talk science. Masturbation by itself is not harmful. In fact, in your younger years, occasional release can even help your prostate and reduce congestion. That's biology. But here's where most men get it wrong: frequency, age, and context. When you're 25, your body is a hormone factory. Your testosterone is sky high, your recovery fast, your dopamine system flexible. You can handle more stimulation without much fallout. But after 50, your testosterone is down 30 to 40% from your 20s. Your recovery is slower, and your brain's reward system isn't as forgiving. That means each quick release has a bigger impact on your hormones and nervous system. So what's the truth? Occasional masturbation doesn't ruin you, but compulsive, daily, or multiple times a day stimulation absolutely can. Here's why. Your brain isn't built for endless novelty. Each time you do it, especially with porn, you flood your brain with dopamine, the chemical of pleasure and motivation. But when that happens too often, your brain becomes numb to it. You need more stimulation just to feel the same level of excitement. It's the same process behind addiction. And the cruel part? The more you chase pleasure, the less you actually feel it. That's why so many men over 50 tell me, "Doctor, I can't enjoy intimacy anymore. I feel nothing." It's not that they've lost desire. It's that their brain has lost sensitivity. Now here's another myth. Some men believe that daily masturbation helps keep the pipes clean. No, that's a half-truth. Your body already does that naturally. You don't need to drain yourself constantly, because sperm takes around 70 days to mature. If you're releasing every single day, your body never gives them the time to grow strong and healthy. So what happens? Your energy tanks, your motivation crashes, and your sex drive, the real, natural kind, starts to fade. Moderation is the key. But let's be real, most men don't stop at moderation. They use it to numb stress, boredom, loneliness. That's when it becomes a problem. Because after 50, your nervous system is more fragile, your recovery slower, and your body less tolerant to constant arousal and depletion. So now that we've separated the myth from reality, it's time to face the real consequences. What happens when you keep pushing your body past its limits? What happens when this habit becomes your daily escape? Let's dive into the physical toll, what over-masturbation really does to your body after 50. Let's get into the part most men don't want to hear. What constant self-stimulation actually does to your body, especially after 50. Because the damage doesn't always show up overnight. It creeps in quietly. And by the time you feel it, the habit's already burned deep into your system. Here's the truth. Your sexual organs aren't machines. They're part of a finely tuned network. Nerves, blood vessels, hormones, and the brain all working in sync. And when you keep forcing that system to fire every single day, you overload it. Let's start with the nervous system. Every ejaculation releases a wave of chemicals: dopamine, prolactin, oxytocin. After that, your body enters a recovery phase called the refractory period. It's like your nerves need a reset. But when you stimulate again before the system fully recharges, you short-circuit that recovery process. Over time, this leads to sexual exhaustion, fatigue, brain fog, low motivation, even insomnia. Then comes the hormonal crash. Each release lowers your testosterone temporarily. Your body needs time and resources to rebuild it. If you're constantly ejaculating, your testosterone never fully rebounds. And at your age, that's dangerous. Because low testosterone means more belly fat, weaker muscles, poor sleep, and yes, erectile issues. Now let's talk about the physical organ itself. Excessive friction, tight grip, or overuse can desensitize the nerves of the penis. What used to feel exciting becomes dull. You might even start needing stronger and stranger stimulation just to feel anything. That's what's called death grip syndrome, a term urologists use for men who can't climax with a partner anymore because their brain and body are conditioned to their own unique pressure and rhythm. Then there's injury and infection. I've seen patients come in with redness, pain, even small tears on the shaft. They say, "Doc, I thought I was careful." But repeated microtrauma weakens the skin and creates tiny entry points for bacteria. That's when you get UTIs, prostatitis, or inflammation that keeps coming back. And there's one more hidden danger: blood flow. Every erection is a mini workout for your circulatory system. When you overuse it, your vessels lose elasticity. It's like overtraining at the gym without recovery days. Your performance dips, your response time slows, and your erections become weaker over time. Now combine all of that with age. Slower healing, lower zinc and magnesium levels, reduced nitric oxide. The result? A body that feels drained, dull, and unresponsive. You might notice your morning erections fade. You might feel less desire, less drive, even less joy in simple things. And all the while, you tell yourself it's just aging. But in many cases, it's overstimulation. Remember this: your body isn't designed for constant release. It's designed for rhythm. Moments of desire, followed by rest, rebuilding, and recovery. That's what keeps your sexual energy powerful. And when you break that rhythm, you break the very system that gives you strength, vitality, and masculinity. Now you know what's happening physically. But the bigger blow? The one most men don't expect? It's not what happens in the body. It's what happens in the brain. Let's talk about that next: how over-masturbation and porn reshape your mind and silently destroy your sexual confidence from the inside out. Now let's talk about performance. Because what starts as a harmless habit often ends up sabotaging the very thing it was meant to enhance. Here's what happens inside your body when you overdo it. Every time you masturbate, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals: dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, prolactin. That's why it feels relaxing afterward. But if you do it too often, especially with visual stimulation like porn, you're training your brain to respond to fantasy, not reality. Over time, your body associates arousal only with screens, not skin, not touch, not your partner, just digital dopamine. So what happens when you're actually with a real woman? You can't get the same level of excitement. Your brain is bored. Your body doesn't respond. And you start to panic. That's the beginning of porn-induced erectile dysfunction. At first, you might still get an erection, but it fades fast. Then you need more visual stimulation, stronger, stranger, newer, to feel anything. Until one day, even that doesn't work. And here's something many men never realize. When your brain gets used to constant dopamine hits, your natural testosterone production slows down. Because your body thinks you're already getting all the pleasure and satisfaction you need. No drive, no pursuit, no hunger left. That's when libido drops. You stop desiring your partner. You lose your edge. You lose your spark. Now let's talk about ejaculation control. Frequent, rushed stimulation can oversensitize the nerves of the penis. So when you're with a partner, you finish too quickly, premature ejaculation. But the opposite can also happen. If your brain has adapted to a very specific kind of stimulation, pressure, rhythm, speed, you might find it impossible to finish with a real partner. That's called delayed ejaculation, and it's becoming alarmingly common in men under 60. Then there's fertility. Your sperm aren't produced instantly. They take around 64 to 72 days to mature. So when you ejaculate too often, you're depleting your reserves before they're fully developed. That means lower sperm count, weaker motility, and higher DNA fragmentation. In simple terms, sperm that struggle to reach or fertilize an egg. If you're trying to conceive, the habit could silently be working against you. Now, to be fair, moderate ejaculation, maybe a few times a month, can actually help maintain sperm quality. But daily or multiple times a day, that's overkill. You're not keeping the pipes clean. You're draining the system dry. And yes, there's more. Repeated release without emotional connection or aftercare throws your hormones out of balance. Prolactin rises, cortisol spikes, dopamine crashes. You feel empty, unmotivated, sometimes even guilty. That's your biology trying to tell you you're running on empty. And if you keep ignoring it, your body adapts by lowering your baseline desire to protect you from burnout. That's how men end up in their 50s or 60s saying, "I just don't feel like a man anymore." It's not just aging, it's overstimulation. Now imagine the impact that has on your relationship. When your body's tired, your mind disconnected, and your desire dulled, intimacy suffers. Your partner feels it, and so do you. So the question becomes, if this habit is slowly draining men physically, sexually, and hormonally, why do so many keep falling into the same trap? Because the real addiction isn't in the body, it's in the brain. And once your brain's chemistry changes, it takes more than willpower to escape. Let's uncover that next, what porn and over-masturbation actually do to your brain's wiring, and why so many men today are silently losing control of their own desire. Now we're stepping into the damage you can't see in the mirror. This damage doesn't show up on lab tests, but it shows up in your eyes, relationships, and confidence. I'm talking about the mental toll. Over-masturbation and porn rewire your brain, training it to crave instant pleasure and novelty. Your brain adapts, becoming hooked on the next hit of dopamine, that burst of excitement when you open your phone and see a thumbnail. Over time, the craving becomes stronger than the satisfaction, leading many men to repeat the cycle, even when it leaves them feeling empty. It's not weakness, it's neurochemistry. You've conditioned your brain to associate pleasure with pixels, not people. The more this happens, the harder it becomes to connect emotionally or physically with a real partner, because reality can't compete with fantasy. I've had men in their 50s tell me, "Doc, my wife is beautiful. I love her. But when I'm with her, I feel nothing." You can see the shame in their face, but it's about wiring. Their brain chases the artificial intensity that only screens deliver. That's dopamine tolerance. Once it sets in, natural intimacy feels boring. Now, let's talk about what that does to your emotions. After every high comes a low. When dopamine crashes, your brain releases prolactin, leading to feeling drained, unmotivated, and depressed. Add cortisol, the stress hormone, and suddenly you're anxious, irritable, and restless. You can't focus, you lose patience, and you stop feeling joy. Then comes the guilt, because deep down, you know it's not making you happy anymore, but you can't stop. Every time you try to quit, your brain craves that quick fix again. That's addiction. It's one of the most underdiagnosed problems I see in men over 50. It doesn't always look like addiction. You're not missing work or getting drunk or high. But inside, you've become dependent on an escape. A few minutes of pleasure to numb hours of stress, loneliness, or frustration. And here's the cost. You stop turning to your partner for comfort. You stop seeking emotional intimacy. You build a private world where you don't need anyone, but you also don't feel truly alive. Slowly, your partner starts to notice. She feels rejected, unwanted, confused, and thinks it's her fault. Instead of bringing you closer, this habit builds a wall between you. Sex becomes mechanical, distant, or disappears altogether. Then resentment sets in. Trust fades. Connection dies. That's why I call porn addiction the silent divorce. It doesn't end relationships overnight. It erodes them over years, quietly, invisibly, until there's nothing left but two strangers living under one roof. Here's the cruel twist. When a man loses intimacy with his partner, his body loses its natural trigger for testosterone. Real affection and touch release oxytocin, a hormone that supports male hormone balance. So when you isolate, your T levels drop even more. It's a vicious cycle. But here's the good news. The brain is plastic. It can change. You can rewire it back to normal, to sensitivity, connection, and emotional strength. That's exactly what I'm going to show you next, because you don't fix this problem by just stopping. You fix it by replacing it with habits that rebuild your body, reset your hormones, and retrain your mind. Let's talk about how to do that, step by step, and how thousands of men have broken this addiction and restored their vitality after 50. Let's shift our focus from the problem to the immense power you possess within. This journey is about reclaiming your inherent strength and vitality. I've personally witnessed men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s undergo remarkable transformations, revitalizing their energy, sharpening their focus, and re-embracing their masculinity. This profound transformation, this journey back to your authentic self, begins with a single, powerful word: reset. It's the foundation upon which all lasting change is built. You cannot effectively combat this deeply ingrained habit using willpower alone. What you truly need is a comprehensive reset, a biological, mental, and emotional recalibration of your entire system. Allow me to guide you through the same proven process I utilize with my patients, a structured approach designed to help you regain control and rediscover your true potential. Our first crucial step is the 30-day reboot. For the next 30 days, commit to absolutely no porn, no masturbation, and no exceptions. The reason for this strict adherence is scientific. It typically takes approximately 3 to 4 weeks for your brain's dopamine receptors to begin their essential healing process. During this initial period, it's entirely normal for your brain to intensely crave stimulation. Understand that this is simply withdrawal, not from sex itself, but from the overstimulation and abuse of dopamine pathways. You'll begin to notice a series of positive changes. Initially, you might feel a sense of restlessness, a natural part of the adjustment. However, soon after, you'll find yourself sleeping more deeply and restfully, experiencing a quality of sleep you may not have had in years. Your mental focus will sharpen considerably, allowing for greater clarity. Your overall energy levels will noticeably rise, providing you with renewed vigor for daily activities. And yes, a significant benefit: your erections will start returning, stronger and more reliable. This is your body's incredible ability to rebalance itself, a testament to its resilience. Your hormones are naturally waking up, restoring their optimal function. Step 2 is crucial. Replace the habit, don't just remove it. You cannot simply erase a deeply ingrained behavior from your system. You must actively replace it with something constructive. So, when that familiar urge inevitably strikes, you need a pre-planned, immediate swap. Have an alternative action ready to deploy. Consider taking a brisk walk outdoors, engaging in 10 quick push-ups, or even taking an invigorating cold shower. Alternatively, take a moment to write down what specifically triggered that urge, gaining insight into your patterns. Each time you successfully redirect that energy, you are actively teaching your brain a powerful new pattern, a pattern of control and conscious choice, rather than impulsive reaction. And here lies the truly beautiful part of this process. That very same potent energy you once inadvertently wasted can now be channeled to fuel incredible productivity, boost your confidence, and ignite your creativity. This isn't mere pseudoscience or wishful thinking. This is the tangible, verifiable power of neurochemistry at work, reshaping your brain for the better. Step 3 focuses on rebuild the body. Your sexual energy, your overall vitality, is intrinsically linked to your physical well-being. Therefore, if your desire is to feel truly alive and vibrant once more, you must begin to treat your body with the respect it deserves, like a finely tuned machine that requires consistent, diligent maintenance. This means committing to daily exercise. Strength training, in particular, is a powerful, natural way to significantly boost your testosterone levels. Prioritize deep, restorative sleep. Your crucial T levels experience their most significant rise when you consistently achieve those vital REM sleep cycles. Eat clean, nourishing foods. Essential nutrients like zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D are the fundamental building blocks for healthy male hormones. Stay consistently hydrated and keep moving throughout the day. Optimal blood flow is directly synonymous with excellent erection health and overall vitality. Understand that your body isn't inherently broken. It has simply been overused and perhaps neglected. What it truly needs now is dedicated recovery, not further stimulation. Step 4 is about rekindle real intimacy. Always remember this fundamental truth. Porn offers you a fleeting fantasy without any genuine connection. However, real intimacy provides you with profound connection, free from the burden of guilt or shame. It's a deeply rewarding experience. Relearn the beautiful basics, the power of touch, the comfort of affection, the depth of communication, and the excitement of anticipation in a healthy relationship. Your partner desires your authentic presence, not an illusion of perfection. When you share that genuine energy again, you naturally release oxytocin and endorphins. These are the body's natural pair bonding chemicals, essential for keeping love, desire, and libido vibrantly alive and thriving. And if you find yourself single during this period, embrace this time to strengthen yourself first. Focus on personal growth and self-improvement. By doing so, you will attract future connections from a place of genuine confidence and self-worth, rather than from a place of craving or desperation. Step 5 is seek support if you need it. If you've made attempts to quit and found yourself struggling, or if this habit feels like it's controlling your time, your focus, or your relationships, understand this clearly. You are not weak. You are simply stuck in a behavioral loop that your brain hasn't yet learned how to exit. This is a common challenge, and it's entirely solvable. That's precisely where professional therapy or coaching can provide invaluable assistance. Sometimes, all it truly takes is expert guidance, a structured plan, and consistent accountability to break free. Furthermore, if you continue to experience low libido, persistent fatigue, or performance issues even after initiating a reboot, it is highly advisable to get your hormones thoroughly checked. Conditions such as testosterone deficiency, a thyroid imbalance, or even underlying depression might be significant factors at play, requiring medical attention. Step 6 is the mindset shift. Stop perceiving this journey as a form of punishment or deprivation. Instead, reframe it as an intensive training regimen for your mind and spirit. You are actively retraining your mind to crave genuine challenge, personal growth, and meaningful achievement, rather than succumbing to cheap, fleeting pleasure. You are meticulously building mental strength, the profound kind that is resilient and does not depend on instant gratification for its sustenance. Within a matter of weeks, you will begin to notice something truly incredible unfolding in your life. You will wake up each morning with a renewed sense of energy and purpose. You will confidently look people directly in the eye, feeling grounded, completely in control, and radiating an undeniable sense of self-assurance. That, my friends, is your authentic masculine energy powerfully returning, stronger and more vibrant than ever before. It's a profound reclamation of self. Because when you truly master yourself, you don't merely regain your sexual power, you fundamentally regain your entire identity, your true essence. And that, in essence, is the pivotal moment when most men realize that this journey was never truly about sex at all. It was, and always has been, about profound self-respect. Now, before I share the one undeniable truth that will completely revolutionize how you perceive this entire topic, the truth that distinctly separates strong men from weak ones, I want to state this with absolute clarity. Every man possesses the inherent capacity to recover. Every man has the power to rebuild his life, his energy, and his relationships. And this transformative journey begins with two fundamental pillars: unwavering awareness and consistent discipline. So, stay with me for just a moment longer, because in this final, crucial part, I will reveal the single, most important principle that truly defines real masculinity after 50, and the ultimate, overarching truth about this entire subject. Here's the truth that most men never hear, and that most doctors are too polite to say. Masturbation isn't the problem. Ignorance is. The problem isn't your body, it's what you've trained it to believe. See, your body is innocent. It follows your brain, and your brain follows your habits. If you keep feeding it quick pleasure, it stops seeking deep fulfillment. If you chase instant dopamine, you lose long-term drive. And when that happens, you become weaker, not because of biology, but because you've forgotten how to feel like a man. Let me be blunt. Every time you choose the screen over real connection, you tell your body, fantasy is enough. You teach your brain that fake intimacy is better than real love. You teach your soul that loneliness is normal. That's not masculinity. That's surrender. True masculinity isn't about how often you can release. It's about how long you can hold your power. Because when you can control your urges, you control your energy, your focus, your destiny. That's what ancient martial artists, monks, and even modern neuroscientists agree on. Your sexual energy is your creative energy. You can waste it, or you can transform it into purpose, strength, and clarity. When you stop letting your hand dictate your habits, your mind sharpens. Your confidence returns. Your presence commands attention. And your partner will feel it too, because nothing is more attractive than a man who's grounded, focused, and self-controlled. So let me ask you something. What kind of man do you want to be for the next 20 years? The one who hides in the dark, scrolling through pixels for a few seconds of pleasure? Or the one who stands tall, strong, connected, and fully alive? You already know the answer. You've always known. You just needed someone to say it out loud. So here's your challenge. For the next 30 days, stop giving away your energy. No porn. No mindless release. Channel that power back into your body, your goals, your relationships. And then watch what happens. You'll wake up feeling sharper. You'll walk taller. You'll think clearer. And yes, you'll perform better in every way that matters. Because a man who controls his desire doesn't lose pleasure. He becomes the pleasure. Remember, your masculinity is not measured by what you do in secret, but by the discipline you show when no one's watching. And if you've been struggling, don't feel shame. You're not broken. You're just untrained. But starting today, you can retrain your mind, your hormones, and your habits. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what's the biggest challenge you face when it comes to discipline or intimacy? I read every single one personally, and I'll be answering your questions in future videos. And if this message spoke to you, if it made you think differently about your body and your power, then share it with another man who needs to hear this truth. You might change his life. I'm Dr. Amelia Hayes, reminding you, your body isn't the problem. Your habits are. And when you master them, you don't just restore your sexual health, you reclaim your manhood.
Stay disciplined. Stay curious. And I'll see you in the next episode, where we'll talk about how to naturally rebuild testosterone and keep your energy strong well into your 60s and 70s. Until then, take care of your body, respect your power, and remember, real men don't escape life. They face it head on.